Yeah. Yes. Okay. Yeah. As part of our last few sessions, as part of our last weekend workshop, sir, we have covered the some of the topics related to JUnit. Okay, and also we covered with what Mockito and all this stuff, right, guys? Right or not? As part of our the last week of workshops, guys, we have covered. Okay, so we have covered. We have covered like the what is the importance of JUnit. Okay, how you can configure the JUnit 5 library to our Java projects. Okay, how you can work with what JUnit 5 related annotations and JUnit 5 related assertions API. Right or not, guys? Right or not? And also we have discussed about the JUnit 5 architecture as well, such as JUnit Vintage is the one component, JUnit Jupyter is another component. So we have another component of JUnit 5 architecture as well, right, guys? Right? Yeah, fine. So and we also developed the but we also developed like as in the one application for the JUnit, sir. So that is the JUnit JUnit the first application called JUnit testing application. So and also we have written for what contact manager. We are considered with what contact manager application. Okay, just for adding the contact and getting all the contacts, check whether the contact is existed or not, and validating the contact and generating the key for the contact, all such things which you have developed one small application, guys. And also and contact manager test class. So okay, contact manager test class, we have covered all these JUnit 5 related concepts such as JUnit 5 annotations and JUnit 5 assertions, right, guys? All these things which we have covered in this an application, sir. Understand? That is all about with what JUnit 5 related discussions. Okay. After completion of our JUnit 5 related discussions, guys, we started with what? Understanding and working with what? Mockito. What is an importance of Mockito, guys? Can you guys please confirm over the chat box? What is an importance of Mockito? So Mockito is the one of the mocking framework in Java, which helps us to create a mock objects for the original objects, right or not? Whenever you guys are writing a test classes for controller component or service component or the DAO component, guys, those components are depending upon some other external components. Okay, those components are depending upon some other components, guys. Controller requires a service object, service requires for what the DAO object, right or not? DAO object. So in such cases, how you can becomes the unit testing become how you can isolate your unit testing with the help of mocking framework, sir. How you can isolate your unit testing part, that can be help of which can be the help of with what? Mockito. Mockito means it is a one of the mocking framework in Java. Mocking framework in Java which helps to create a mock object for a original object, guys. Simple. Understand, everybody? Everybody understood or not? Yes. And also I have created a one simple the basic project of Mockito as well, sir. Okay, I have created one simple Maven project and I configured the Mockito dependencies along with the JUnit 5 dependencies, guys. So these are nothing but an JUnit 5 dependencies. And after that, I have configured with what? Mockito dependencies. Mockito-core and Mockito-JUnit-Jupyter. Right, guys? Right, these are the Mockito dependencies which we have included, sir. And also we have configured the one plugin as well, code coverage plugin. So what is that code coverage plugin? What is the name of our code coverage plugin, guys, in Java? JaCoCo. Okay, JaCoCo means Java code coverage, sir. Okay, in the out of these three terms, the first two letters they can be considered as JaCoCo. Understand, guys? Everybody? Yes. Okay, and this is what the application, sir. Yes. Okay, these are the things which we have discussed, sir. Right, guys? Right or not? And also in the last session, we discussed about what is an importance of stubbing. What is an importance of stubbing? Stubbing is nothing but an setting the behavior of the mock object method, sir. Okay, whenever you guys are creating a mock object for a service class or a DAO class or a controller class, sir. Okay, in that the mock object itself, you will be the having for what? Mock object methods. If you guys wanted to set the behavior of the, mock object methods means, then definitely you need to go for what? Stubbing. Stubbing means nothing but an setting the behavior, guys. Setting the behavior of the method, setting the behavior of the mock object method, guys. Simple. That is called stubbing. That is called stubbing. Understood? Understood? These are the things which we have discussed, sir, in the last session. In the last week of the workshop, we have discussed about all this part. Understand? Yes. Okay. Yeah. Anybody having any questions up to now? Yes, Mockito we required with what? Two dependencies. One is for what? Mockito core. Another one is for what? Mockito JUnit Jupyter. That's all. Those are the two dependencies required to work with what? Mockito, sir, as of now. Okay. Yes. And also I have covered you about with what? Code coverage as well. I also covered you with the help of for what? Code coverage, sir. So how you need to do the code coverage? How you need to do the code coverage, sir? Code coverage means nothing but and what? It's a kind of metrics. It's a kind of metric to understand how much percentage of your test cases has been covered with your source code, sir. Okay, it's a kind of metrics. It's a kind of metric tool, sir. It's a kind of metric tool which helps us to identify how much percentage of the code will be covered as and for what? How much code percentage of our code has been covered with what? Your source code. How much test cases of your code has been covered with what? Original source code, guys. That is called code coverage. So how you can achieve the code coverage, guys? With the help of JaCoCo plugin, sir. With the help of JaCoCo plugin. Okay. So where you have configured the JaCoCo plugin in the Maven, in the pom.xml file, you have configured one plugin called JaCoCo plugin. So with the by configuring that the JaCoCo plugin, sir, automatically the test it will identify how much percentage of your test cases got covered with your source code, sir. Understand? So, and this JaCoCo plugin is linked with which Maven goal? Can you guys please confirm? This JaCoCo plugin is linked with which Maven goal, sir? What are the different Maven goals we have? Clean is the one goal, package is the another goal, compile is the another goal, okay, install is the another goal, and test is for what? Another goal. And tell me, JaCoCo plugin is linked with what goal of Maven? Which goal of Maven, sir? Observe carefully. Test goal. Test goal. We are linking. We are linking the JaCoCo plugin for what? Test goal of Maven. Simple as that. Okay. Yes. So these are the things which we have discussed, guys, in our the last week of workshop, guys. Right? Right. Okay. Fine. Yeah. So, and this is what the importance of the Mockito, which we have discussed, sir. Okay, by using the Mockito, we can mock a mock of any Java object for and the original object. Simple. And also you can you can perform the stubbing of the mock object methods, and you can do for what? Behavioral testing of behavioral verifications as well for your mock objects. All these things which you can do, sir. Okay, this is what the dependencies which is required for what? Working with what? Mockito core and Mockito hyphen Jupyter hyphen JUnit Jupyter. Simple. These are the two dependencies which is required to work with what? Mockito, sir. Okay, and also there are the multiple ways of creating a mock object, guys. One is for what? A static method of Mockito, static method called mock method from the Mockito class. Another method is called using for what? Annotation, sir. At the rate mock annotation. @mock annotation, sir. Sir, mock object can be created only for classes, or mock object can be created only, okay, mock object can be created for classes and interfaces. Can you guys please confirm? So mock object will be mock object can be created only for the class, or can be created for an interface or the class itself, class or interface. Yeah, so you can create like as on the mock object for an interface or class, sir, no problem at all. Okay, yes. So whenever you guys are using this, whenever you guys are using these annotations in your test class, guys, make sure you need to initialize the mocks. You need to open the mocks, guys. You need to open the mocks. You need to open the mocks, guys. You need to open the mocks whenever you guys are working with what Mockito related annotations, such as @mock, @inject mocks, @spy. Okay, Mockito related annotations, sir. Whenever you want to work with what these annotations in your test class, make sure to initialize those mock, those to initialize to initialize the mock objects in your test class, guys. You need to use this the statement in our the class called Mockito annotations dot open mock of current class object. Simple. That is the man is a mandatory thing, sir. Okay. Yes. So let's deep dive into for what last session application, sir. Observe carefully. In the last session, so we have taken with what one example that is called user DAO and user service. User DAO contains for what login status application, login status method, which is taking forward two parameters, username and password. If the username and password is not equal to null, and if it is verifying with Mahesh and Mahesh means, then I'm returning back as an forward login success. Otherwise, I'm returning as an forward login failure. If the username and password sending as on the null values means, then I'm throwing an exception saying as an forward provide inputs correctly. This is the one method, sir. This is the one DAO method as of now. And we have the another DAO method called void method. Void method. So void method, sir. This is the void method. Void send email notifications. That is nothing but on the count, sir. Okay. Email sent for the today's count for is for what that count display is displaying. It's a kind of simple void method. Okay. And also I have written for what another two methods as well, sir. Here one is for what user get user by id object, get user by id object, guys, which is going to return for what some dummy user object. Okay, you are supplying for what user id, and it is going to return for what some dummy user object, sir, nothing more. Okay, and in case of save object, sir, save user, sir, you are taking for what save user and creating for what new user with the Mahesh Kumar and male gender. Simple. Okay, user is the one of the object, guys. User is the one of the object which contains for what three properties: first name, last name, and gender. Simple. Okay, so this is the simple the dummy behavior for user DAO class. Hope you guys are clear. Hope you guys are clear. User DAO class, sir, this is not at all communicating with the database. Keep the point in your mind. I have some for what I have written some dummy methods. I have written for what some I have written some DAO methods, sir. Simple. It is not at all communicating with the database. Please keep that point in your mind. I have written some dummy methods, sir. Simple. Understand? And also I have created a service component. Service class requires for what class? DAO class. And I am injecting the DAO object into service class using constructor. Okay, and see, sir, and service method calling to validate the login credentials. Service method is calling a service method is used to validate the login credentials, guys. User DAO dot get login details, guys. Username and password. Whether it is a login failure or the login success, it is going to return that value from this method, sir. Simple. Understand? And this is the void method calling from the service method. Okay, and we have written with what another method, sir. We have the another method called sir. Another method is for what get all users, sir. You are getting for what user IDs as an for what list here. Okay, you are receiving the input as an for what list of user IDs. Okay, those user IDs you are reiterating that and getting that user details from the user DAO and adding that user object to user list. Understand everybody? Understand my point or not? So get all users is the another service method, sir. Another service method which is taking the input as and for what? Which is taking the input of this method is for what, guys? Try to respond. Get all users method is taking the inputs as and for what, guys? User IDs. What it is returning, sir? What it is returning? List of users. List of users. So whatever the user IDs you are receiving here, that user IDs I'm iterating, sir. I'm iterating with what? User IDs. Okay. So for each user ID, we are getting the user object. For each user ID, you are getting for what? User object. Once you get the user object, I am adding that user object for what? Simple, sir. This is getting the user object from user DAO. Okay. And then adding the user object to user list. Simple. Okay. Yes. So see, whatever the user IDs you are receiving as in the list, sir, for that list, I'm start iterating on it and getting that user object for the getting the user object, guys, based on the user ID. Once you get the user object, you are adding that user object to for what? User list. Sir, in the get user by ID is here. So whatever the user ID you are passing here, simple. You no need to bother about it. It is simply giving for what? User objects, guys. User objects. Okay. Yes. So, and then followed with what? Update user method as well. So if the user is null or user object contains first name is equal to null, means I can say I can throw the exception called illegal argument exception saying that invalid user data. Otherwise, actually I'm updating the logic to using for what? Repository. So that is called user DAO.save user, sir. It is not at all communicating with the database. Simple. It is not at all communicating with the database, guys. Keep that point in your mind, everybody. Okay, I just wanted to show you how you can write the unit test cases and how you can stub these methods. Understand, everybody? How you can stub these methods, sir. That is what my intention, basically, with the help of Mockito. Understand? Everybody is clear about the service class? Any doubts? Let me show you first DAO class. Everybody please walk through the DAO class. Anybody having any questions? No. Okay then. So go to the user service class. Any doubts on the user service class? This is a similar to last application only, sir. Okay, I just added the two new methods. I just added the two new methods here. Similar to last week of an application only. It is last week of an application only. I just added for what? Two new methods. Get all users and update user. Okay. Yeah. Any doubts on this application? User service class? Come up with your questions. Do you have any doubts on the user service class? Okay, fine. Fine. That's all. So now go to the test class. Test class, observe carefully. Okay, observe carefully. We have written already the test cases for this test cases for what? This method, sir. Validate login method. Inside the validate login method. So and also we stubbed this we stubbed this method call as well. Agree or not? If you guys remember correctly, in user service test class, okay, user service test class requires for what class object? User service object. And this class requires what mock object? User DAO is a mock object is required. Understand? Yes. So the class which is under test, sir, the class which is under test that we are the class which is under test, that class object you can inject with the help of @inject mocks. The class which is an under test, guys, that class you can inject into the test class by using for what? @inject mocks. And @mock is nothing but an creating a mock object for user DAO interface. Okay. And before each method, so before each method, as I mentioned you, whenever you guys are using any kind of Mockito annotations, you need to initialize, you need to open the mocks object, you need to open the mocks, guys, so that automatically that mock objects get injected into for what? Inject mocks. Okay, that is the method, sir. And you know that one, right? So validating the login credentials with a success case, right? This is how you are stubbing. So when before calling the validate login method of user service class, before calling the validate login of user service class, guys, you just set like as in the behavior of login status method or not of the user DAO class. Come on, guys, try to respond, everybody. Everybody, please try to respond. So I'm just trying to write a test case for this method, sir. Okay. So in order to write the test case for this method, whatever the method call you have, so for that the method call you need to stub it. Stub it means whenever this method call is happened, so what you are expecting the output, that is what I am doing the stubbing, sir. So stubbing or nothing but on what? Setting the behavior of DAO method. Whenever this call is happened with any string parameters of username and the password, please return me as on the result as on for what? Login success. This is called stubbing. This is called stubbing, guys. This is called stubbing. Hope you guys are comfortable. So why before calling this method, sir? Before calling this method, you need to stub the behavior of user DAO dot get login validation, get login status method. Okay. When so this is nothing but an actual DAO call will happen, or it's a dummy behavior you set for the user DAO method. Yes, it is nothing but an setting the mock behavior, sir. Setting the behavior for the mock object. Simple. User DAO dot get login status with any two strings, sir. If you call that one, just return me as an for what? Login success. This is the when and return or nothing but an used for stubbing, sir. When and then return methods are used for what? Setting the behavior for mock objects. Simple. Okay. There is another equivalent method as well, sir, for stubbing the methods, that is called do return and when method, sir. Do return and when method as well. Okay. Do return login success has to be the return when the user object dot when the user DAO dot login status method is get called. Simple. Understand? This is the another way of stubbing, sir. So this is the one way of stubbing. This is the another way of stubbing, sir. This is the another way of stubbing. After stubbing the methods, or after stubbing it, then you can call the service layer logic. You can call the service layer logic. Service layer logic. Then you can verify whether the assertion not equal to null, not null for the login status or not. If it is a login success, means my test case is passed. Anybody having any doubts on this method for positive scenario? For positive scenario, anybody having any doubts? No. Okay, then good, sir. Okay, this is for positive scenario, sir. Okay, and we have the another negative scenario. Validating the login with the failure scenario, sir. Failure scenario means you can pass like as in any kind of value of Mahesh123 and Mahesh123, sir. Okay. Yes. So first I can make it as an forward assertion dot assert not null of user DAO, whether that user DAO object is not null or not. Okay. Whether the user DAO not null or not. Yes. Okay. Yeah. This is the I'm just doing that one. User DAO dot get login status of any logins, sir. Then in this case, now what is the behavior you are setting, sir? What is the behavior you are setting here? user DAO dot get login status method. So you are stubbing the method, sir. User DAO dot get login status, which is going to return for what? Login failure. Right, guys? This is the way of stubbing. Okay. So, and as I shown you, sir, right? So let me comment this part. Okay, because one method we already used when method, and this is the another method. Sir, both are one and same, sir. Okay. When and then return is one and same. When and then return are same, or you can use for what? Do return as well. No problem. Okay. So at this point of time, so do return. I need to return for what? Login failure. Whenever the user DAO dot get login status method is called with any strings, with any two string parameters. So in this case, I need to get for what? Login failure, sir. Okay. Login failure. Okay, this is nothing but an stubbing, sir. Stubbing or setting the behavior for a DAO method, sir. Simple. And then call with what? Business method. Okay, in this case, what your expectation? Login status should not null, and login status should be equal to login failure, sir. This is the negative case, guys. This is the negative case. Understand? So whatever the method I was talking about, I was writing the possible test cases for this method. So in order to write the test case for this method, you need to stub the behavior for this method first. You need to set the behavior for this method call. Understand? That is what I'm doing here. Okay. Yeah. And exceptional case, sir. Exceptional case scenario. Exception case scenario. Exception case scenario. This is. Okay. So user DAO dot null. Mockito dot when the user DAO, when the login status, whenever your guys are passing with what? Null and null, then it is throwing for what? Then it will throws for what, guys? Runtime exception saying that please provide the inputs correctly. Agree? Please provide the inputs correctly. So whenever you guys are, this is nothing but setting the behavior of your mock method. So whenever this method is called with null parameters, okay, whenever this method is called with the null parameters on your mock object, then you are expecting the behavior for what? Runtime exception, sir. Runtime exception with the exception message as for what, guys? Provide the inputs correctly. Provide the inputs correctly. Okay, provide the inputs correctly, sir. Understand? That is the another method, sir. This is the another stubbing mechanism of for what? Throws. Okay, and then whatever the whether it is exception, I'm just confirming that back. So whenever you are calling the service method, is it giving for what? Runtime exception or not? That I was comparing with what? Assertions. Understand? So before calling that service method, you need to just set the behavior for the DAO method, which is throws for what? Runtime exception, sir. That is what I did. Hope you guys are comfortable about this method as well. Come on, guys. So whatever the three test cases I have shown you, these three test cases is for what? This method. So in the three test cases, you have set the behavior of this call. You have set the behavior of this line of code with the three different things. One is for what? Positive scenario. Another one is for what? Negative scenario. Another one is for what? Exception scenario. Understand? Yes. Okay then. So, and we have written for what? Another method, sir. We have the another method called void method. So for the void methods, how you can stub it? So whenever you guys wanted to write a test case for this send emails method, sir, of the user service class is making the call for what? User DAO class. Now how you can stub it, sir, basically? So user DAO dot send email notification is also for what? Return type is for what? Void, sir. How you can stub for the void methods? So, and now you know already how you can stub like as in the how you can stub the methods which is returning some values, right or not? By using for what? By using for what? Mockito dot when method and Mockito dot so then returns and then followed with what? Come on, guys. Mockito dot when method and Mockito dot then return, and then throws. These are nothing but an what? Stubbing mechanisms. Okay. Another way of the stubbing mechanism is for what? Do return and then do return and when, sir. Understand, guys, everybody? Yeah. So these are the stubbing mechanisms. So the first mechanism is for what? When and then followed with when method and then followed with what? Then return. Okay. Another way of the stubbing method, another way of writing the behavior of the mock object method is for what? Do return, then when, guys. Do and when methods. Okay. The third way is for what? Do nothing dot when methods, sir. Simple. This is for what? Simple. This is for what, guys? Stubbing the void methods. Stubbing the void methods. Stubbing means nothing but setting the behavior for your mock objects. Simple. Setting the behavior for the mock objects, that is called stubbing. Okay. Stubbing can be done with the two ways. If the Java method is returning something means that's fine, but you can stub with the help of when method and then return method. Okay. If the Java method doesn't returns anything, and in such a case, how you can stub it? How you can stub, sir? How you can stub the void methods, sir? How you can stub the void methods? By using do nothing method, sir. Okay. Hope you guys are comfortable up to now. These three test cases, validating the login credentials with the success, failure, and exception. Right. Yeah. By using the verify methods, sir, basically you can get to know whether the mock object method is interaction is done or not, basically. So that you can ensure with the help of behavioral verification, Abdul. Okay. Yes. So now you need to stub for what? You need to stub for what, guys? Void method, sir. Okay. So validating the void method, sir, is the another test case and user DAO object. And then I'm just setting the behavior or not. Before calling the service method, sir, before calling the service method service method involves for what? User DAO call. That user DAO call contains that doesn't returns anything, sir. Doesn't returns anything. How I am doing that one? Do nothing dot when of user DAO, when of user DAO and send email notification of any integer, sir. Simple. This is nothing but an stubbing of void methods. Everybody is the clear or not? Everybody is the clear or not? How you can stub the, how you can write the stub, how you can write like as in the void methods for how you can write the how you can stubbing for the void methods using do nothing and when method, sir. Do nothing and when method. Understand? So this is how you can stub for what? Void methods, guys, in Mockito. Understand? How you can stub for what? Void methods in the Mockito. Simple. And then you are making for what? Service call. After making like as in the service call, I just wanted to confirm. So whether the user DAO send email notification method is triggered for at least one time or not. Understand? So verification, this is called behavioral verification, sir. Behavioral verification can be done with the help of what? Verify method. Behavioral verification can be done with the help of for what? Verify method, sir. Okay. That is also coming along with Mockito. Mockito framework is nothing but an what? Mocking of creating the mock objects and stubbing of the mock object methods. And then followed with what? Behavioral verification. Behavioral verification means whether that mock object method is get called or not. Whether the mock object method is triggered or not, we can say. If it is triggered means how many number of times it has been triggered. At least one time it has to be the trigger, sir. That is what you can verify it by using for what? Verify method. This is called behavioral verification. This is called behavioral verification, guys. This is called behavioral verification. Everybody is the clear? Yeah. Fine. This is for what? The behavioral verification. Do nothing is mandatory, sir. Yes. Answer yes, sir. Do nothing it represents for what? It is a void method. It is a void method. Simple. Do nothing it returns for what? It's a void method representation. And when a user DAO dot send email notification of any integers are simple. This is the stubbing of the service method. This is the stubbing of a DAO method on the service call. Okay. Yes. So this is what the things are. Hope you guys are clear about how you can stub this method, how you can write the test case, and how you can stub the void methods as well. Come on, guys. Anybody having any questions up to now? How you can call the how you can stub the void methods in the Mockito? Yeah, let's get to understand for what another case. So get all users. Observe carefully, everybody. Please focus. You are inputting. You are just supplying the input as an for what list of user IDs, and you are giving back as an for me as what list of users. Okay. So what it is doing internally, that list of user IDs is iterating and getting the user details from user DAO and setting that user object to for what user list. Simple. This is the simple Java method I have written. So for which method, for which method behavior I need to set, sir? Here, can you guys please confirm? Can you guys please confirm? So which line of code I need to set the behavior for the mock object? Which line of code I need to set the behavior for the mock object? I need response. Line number 34. Yes. Line number 34, sir. Line number 34, you need to set the behavior for what? Mock object. Agree? Yes. Okay. Yeah, line number 34, you need to stub this method, sir. You need to stub this method. Understand? Yeah. Just give me a second. Yeah. Yes. So which line of code we need to stub it, guys? Can you guys please confirm? Which line of code we need to stub it? Line number 34. User DAO dot get user by ID. You need to stub this method, sir. You need to stub this method in your test case. Understand? Yes. Let's see, sir, how you can write a test case for this method. Let's see. Let's see how you can write the test case for this. How you can write the test case for this business method, sir. Let's see here in the user service test class. Observe carefully. Everybody please concentrate. Everybody please concentrate for the next couple of minutes. Okay. I'm just writing like as in the test case for what? User service get all users test method. Okay. Yeah. So observe carefully. I have taken for what list of strings, that is user IDs, that is 1234 and 1235. These are the two user IDs which I have added to the list object. Okay. And then I have prepared two user objects. I have been prepared for what? Two user objects. Okay. User one object and user two object. User one object and user two object, guys. Okay. User one object is prepared with what? 1234 user ID, and user two object is prepared with what? 1235 user object. Understand? Yes. So I'm clearly setting the behavior, sir. I'm clearly setting the behavior. Whenever whenever the user DAO dot get user by ID method, which is passing 1, 2, 3, 4 as a parameter, in such case, user one object has to return. Whenever user DAO dot get user by ID of 1, 2, 3, 5 as a parameter, it has to return for what? User 2 object. Hope you guys are clear this piece of code. Hope you guys are clear about this piece of code. Hope you guys are clear about this piece of code. I'm setting the behavior, sir. I'm setting the behavior. So get all users method. Get all users method. See, this line of code is getting triggered for multiple times based on the user IDs. Okay. I am clearly setting the behavior in the Mockito. I am clearly setting the behavior in the Mockito, sir. Okay. I'm clearly setting the behavior, sir, of the DAO method. Whenever the DAO method is called with 1, 2, 3, 4 as a parameter, you need to return for me as and for what? User one object. Whenever the DAO method is called with 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 5, then you need to return an object called user 2 object. Understand? This is well known, sir. This is well known how you can do the stubbing of the mock object. There is another mechanism as well, which I have already told you. Do return, sir. Do return of book one when the book repository dot find by book ID of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Simple. Okay, 1 minute. So this is not a book, sir. Okay, this is user one. Okay, 1 minute. User one and user two. And this is for what? Get user ID and get user by ID. That's all. This is the another way of stubbing the DAO method, sir. Hope you guys are clear. Yeah. I will come to that spy part, sir. Just wait for a couple of minutes. Wait for the 2 minutes. Okay. Once you are done with this part, you will get to know. Okay. Yes. So this is nothing but an setting the behavior for a DAO object, sir. Whenever the DAO method is called with as in the parameter of 1, 2, 3, 4, then it has to be the return with what? User one object information. Whenever the DAO method has been called with 1, 2, 3, 5 parameter, then it has to be the return with what? User 2 parameter, sir. User 2 object. Okay. Yes. Okay then. Yes. So see, sir, I'm just making the service call here. I'm just making the service call before after the stubbing. User service dot get all users of user IDs. You are making the service call. Okay, that service call return for what? List of users. Whether that list of users size is 2 or not. That's what I mean to do. Okay. So if the if the list of users size and the in expected result and actual output and expected output both are same, means my test case is passed. My test case is passed, guys. Understand? Hope you guys are comfortable about this method. How I have written with what? Test case for get all users. Whatever the method I have shown you, I have written the test case for this the method with the help of Mockito. Okay. Understand, everybody? Anybody having any questions? Anybody having any questions? So stubbing, these are the mechanisms of, these are the nothing but an what? Mechanisms of stubbing, sir. The first two mechanisms are nothing but an whenever the mock object is returning something, these two methods are helpful. Whenever the mock object is not at all returning anything for the void methods, then go for what? Third mechanism. Clear, everybody? Clear, everybody? This is called stubbing. So when it comes for behavioral verification, one of the primary benefit of mock object is that once it is created, it remembers all operations performed on it. Behavioral verification helps us to verify the certain mock method is called by the system under test or not. Understand, guys? Behavioral verification helps us in verifying the certain mock method was called by the system under test or not. it can be done with the help of, it can be done by using for what? Verify method. So this is how you can call with what? Verify, sir. Simple. Understand everybody? Behavioral verification. Okay. Behavioral verification. Simple. So this is for what? This is for what? User DAO. Simple. Okay. And we have the another method as well. So we have the another method as well, sir. What is that another method? User update DAO. In this line of code, can you please confirm which line can in this method, which line of code I need to stub it? Can you guys please confirm which line of code I need to stub the behavior, sir? Which line of code I need to stop the behavior? I need response from everybody. I need the response from everybody. In which line of code I need to stub it? Which line of code I need to stub the behavior, sir? Observe carefully and tell me, sir. Observe carefully the source code and tell me the answer. Line number 44 or line number 47? Yes. So see, sir, observe carefully. This is the update user, sir. I'm going to write a test case for this method, sir. Okay. Update user. So see, sir, observe carefully. Test user update. So, and we have, you know that one, sir. So basically, whenever you guys are stubbing the void methods, you wanted to know whether you want, so you wanted to know like whether the mock object interaction is have been happened or not with the help of verify method. Okay. And we have the another mechanism called spy. So what do you mean by spy, sir? So spy is nothing but an, whenever you want to call, whenever in some situations, sir, in some situations, whenever you want to call the real methods instead of mock objects, instead of mock methods from the mock object, then you need to go for what? Spy. Then you need to go for what? Mockito spy, sir. Mockito spy method is whenever you want to test the real object, not a mock, but still having the ability to selectively the stub or verify the certain methods while retaining the real behavior for the other methods. Understand, guys, everybody? So the spy method is is wanted to test for what? Real objects, sir, not for the mock object. So basically, this spy method is useful for what? Testing for your private methods. Whenever you do have a legacy code, okay, legacy code. So useful when you are working with what? Legacy code, or when you need to partially mock an object for testing purposes. Okay. Yes. So that is an importance of spy, sir. If you see here, I have created a user DAO object really, sir. This is the user DAO object, created a real user repository object. This is not a mock object. Simple. And Mockito dot spy method, and then passing the real DAO object. Then you will be the getting for what? Spy object for user DAO. Agree or not? This is the actual DAO object, guys. This is not a mock object, and this is a this is called spy object. Spy object. Once you get like as in the spy object here, you can pass that spy object to user service class, and then you can interact with that update user method, sir. Understand? Understand my point or not? Are we setting any behavior for user DAO? Can you guys please confirm? In user service class, so we have the update user. Are we setting any mock? Are we setting any are we are setting any behavior for this line of code, sir? Can you guys please confirm? Are we are setting any kind of the behavior for that method, or you are calling the actual method? You are calling the actual method or not? Come on, guys. Yes, you are calling for what? Actual method. You are not at all calling. You are not at all calling the mock object method, sir. Understand? User service dot update method, you are triggering that method, and see, and the user to update, sir, whatever the user object you wanted to update, simple I can pass it, and I just need to verify whether the save method, save user method of spy user repository has been triggered or not. Okay, I'm just verifying the behavior, sir. Okay, whether that save user of user repository method has been triggered or not. If it is triggered for one time, then it's fine. Okay, then I can perform with what assertions, whether that user to update first name and updated user first name is both are equal or not. If yes, I can, my test case is passed. Whenever you want, in some situations case, in some situations you need to call the original methods again from the original classes, not from the mock object. In some situations you need to go for what, in such situations you need to go for what, spicer. Okay, in some situations we need to use for what, spy. Whenever you want to call the real methods from the real classes, you can use for what, spy. Whenever you want to call like as in the mock methods from mock object, then you need to go for what, mocking. Understand? Understand my point, everybody? Yes. Okay. Yes. Whenever you want to call a original method from the original class, you need to go for what, spy. Whenever you want to call the mock object, mock method from the mock object, then you need to go for what, mocking. Understand? That's what I clearly mentioned, guys. That's what I clearly mentioned in the slide of information. See, mock is a nullified class instance that does not play a role in the test. Okay, stub is a mock with additional instructions for how to behave the one certain methods are called. That is called stub. Okay, spy is just like as a regular class instance with the ability to call, with the ability to also the stub method calls. Simple. These are the main three important points. Okay, these are the three important points, guys, when it comes for Mockito. What is mock? What is a stub? What is a spy? Mock is nothing but a dummy object for original object. Stub is nothing but an setting the behavior for the mock object method. Okay, spy is nothing but an calling the actual method from the original class while at the time of stubbing. Understand? This is about with this the application, guys. Hope you guys are comfortable. Hope you guys are comfortable. Yes. Now can you help me, guys, how you can run the map, how you can run this project? Without a spy also you can call, but you cannot do that one, Venkat. We need to spy it and then we need to call it. That is what we need to do with the help of mocking. Okay, so you cannot call the methods basically straight away. That will becomes for what, normal. Okay, yeah. So now can you guys help me, how can I run this project with the Maven with the help of test cases? Right click on the project, run as Maven clean. Maven clean means nothing but an target folder will get deleted. Target folder get deleted of your Maven project. Right click, run as Maven test. Maven test. It is going to execute the test cases of your project. It is going to execute the test cases of your project. It is going to execute the test cases of your project, guys. See, observe carefully. Total how many number of test cases it has run? 6 test cases. What is the status of your build? Success. Okay, the build status is for what? Success. So see, inside the spy method, it is nothing but an what, original method has been called or not? Come on, guys. Original method has been called or not, guys? Here, original method has been called or not? It is not a, it's not a mock object. It's not calling the mock object, sir. Observe carefully. It's not a mock object. It's not a mock object. You are calling for what, original object with the help of spy. Okay, yes. So see, guys, So just refresh the project. Just refresh the project. Go to the site, JaCoCo, index.html, open with the web browser. Open with what web browser, guys? Just open the report. Open the JaCoCo report, guys. Yes. So see, guys, everybody please focus. So our service class has been covered with what? Our service class has been covered with what? 91%. Code coverage has been done for what? 91%. Okay, open that class. Okay. Yeah. See, guys. See. Get all users method is covered with completely 100%. Okay. And validate login method is also covered with what? 100%. Okay. Send emails method is also covered with what? 100%. And update user method is not covered with what? 100%. It has been covered with what? 600. There is some missing branch is there. Okay. There are the 2 lines of code is missed, sir. Okay. Yes. When you click on that, so observe carefully. Observe carefully, sir. This method is missing. This method is missing. Understand? When you are updating the method, sir, when you are updating the user, this line of code is missing. That is what it is showing for what? 66%. Okay. If you cover that line as well, it will, if you cover that line as well, it will make it for what? 100%. Understand? Understand, guys, everybody? Yeah. Yes. Anybody having any questions so far? If you are good with this, then we will start with the Spring Boot REST API unit testing part. If you guys good with this so far, so then we'll jump on to unit testing part in REST API. Before getting into that part, you just need to be on good hands-on with JUnit. Okay, sir. Entity, as I already mentioned you, Shufin. Okay, entity classes, DTO classes. Okay, entity classes, DTO classes, all these classes is not at all required for test coverage. Okay, test coverage will always require for what? Service classes, DAO classes, controller classes, helper classes, utility classes, all these the classes which we require the test cases. Understood? As I already mentioned, sir, what is the minimum percentage? Minimum percentage, sir. What is the minimum percentage? What is the minimum code percentage is required for a software project? 80. Minimum 80%. As I already mentioned you guys in the initial sessions, in the last week of sessions, 80% of code coverage is required for any software project, sir. Okay. Yes, that's why the most of the projects are integrated with the Jenkins pipelines. Okay, through the CI/CD integration, our code should be covered with what? Minimum of 80%. Then only our build gets succeed. If the code is not covered with 80%, means our build get failed. Our build get failed. Okay. Yeah. Hope you guys are comfortable up to now, everybody. All the lines of code it gets covered or not, guys? This is the one branch is missing. Okay, you can write the test case for that, sir. No problem. You can give a try for writing the test case. Okay. Okay. Shall we get into the REST API unit testing part? Yes. I will do that one, Abdul. After ending of our session, I will do the same. Okay. Sir, the people who have joined newly for this today's session, just get the links from the YouTube live or in the Ashok IT YouTube channel. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fine, guys. Fine. Okay then. So let's coming to our REST API unit testing part. Okay. REST API unit testing part, guys. Okay. Yeah. See, guys, as part of our REST API unit testing part, okay, I will be the taking with what vendor API development. Okay. So in this the vendor API development, we will be the having the REST controller class. Okay. We'll be having with what REST controller class. Okay. And we'll be the having what vendor service and vendor DAO. Okay. Vendor service and vendor DAO, and vendor DAO is communicating with what database. Okay. Vendor API development, this is which is used for creating the new vendor. Okay. Getting all vendors information, get vendor by ID. Okay. Delete by vendor, all such things which you can do with the help of our what vendor REST API development. Okay. In this the REST controller class, you have a get method, post method, put method, and the delete method, sir. These methods these REST controller is communicating with whom? Service. Service is communicating with whom? DAO. DAO is communicating with whom? Database. So now for this an application, I'm going to take for what? In-memory database. I'm going to take the support of for what? In-memory database. In-memory database means the database which comes along with the Spring Boot application. The database which comes along with the Spring Boot applications are that is called in-memory database. What are the in-memory database supported by the Spring Boot? What is the in-memory database supported by the Spring Boot? Yes. H2 is the one of the in-memory database of our Spring Boot framework, sir. Understand? Yes. So see, guys, see, yeah, this is my Spring Boot workspace. Okay. This is my Spring Boot workspace. Observe carefully, everybody. So there is in the 40th application. 40th application, sir. That is a Spring Boot REST unit testing application. Simple. Yes. Yeah. So observe carefully, sir. Open the project. Open the project. So first open the pom.xml file. Open the pom.xml file. Currently, I'm using with the latest version of Spring Boot version, that is 3.1.4. Okay. And which dependencies I have included? JPA starter, Spring Data JPA starter, okay, Web starter, Lombok, okay, and H2 dependencies. H2 dependencies and DevTool dependencies. MySQL connector. Okay, not required for the MySQL, sir. Okay. Yeah. Clear, everybody? So these are the starters which I need to select it, sir. Okay. So one is for what? JPA starter. One is for what? Spring Data JPA. Another one is for what? Web starter. Third one is for what? Lombok. Fourth one is for what? H2. H2 starter. H2 dependency you need to select while at the time of creating the project, and the DevTool dependencies. All these things which you need to do, sir. And along with that, you need to have a, by default, every Spring Boot application will comes with a starter test, sir. By default, every Spring Boot application will comes with what? A starter test. And along with that, so I have implemented with what? Open API documentation. Okay. Whatever the REST API I have developed in this application, for the REST API, I'm going to show you with what? API documentation for that. Understand? That's all. Nothing more on it. Hope you guys are comfortable with the dependencies. Hope you guys are comfortable with the dependencies which I have in pom.xml file. Anybody having any questions? JaCoCo, sir. Okay, yeah, we can include that one, sir, later. Okay. Yeah, we can include that one later. What is the use of Open API dependency? Yeah, I'm going to show you, Abdul. Just wait for a minute. It's a kind of a REST API documentation dependency. It's a kind of REST API documentation dependency. Okay. So basically, you are testing of your REST APIs by using for what Postman tool, right? There is another way to test your REST API by using for what Swagger. Okay, this is for what Open API documentations are simple. Just see, sir, expand this one com.ashok IT, open the application.java. Okay, yeah, right click, run as a Spring Boot application. Run as a Spring Boot application, guys. Yeah, it is already used. 1 minute. Okay, go to the application.java and run as Spring Boot app. One minute. Server.port number. Okay, let's update the Maven project one more time. Just update the Maven project. Okay, the Maven project is updated. Okay, go to the application.java. Run as a Spring Boot application. A port number is already changed, sir. Port number is already changed. There is some other issue. Okay, I'm done with the Maven update. Okay, I'm done with the Maven update, and currently my application is running on 9578 port number. Okay, yeah. So localhost colon 9578. Okay, yeah. So observe carefully, sir. Everybody, please focus. I'm just opening the REST API documentation. Observe carefully. Yes. This is what of our REST API documentation, sir. So see where you can get for what are the different controllers are there in your REST API application. All these things will get to know. Vendor REST API development developed by Ashok IT. Okay. Yes. See, sir, vendor controller we have. Under that vendor controller, so you have a lot of things. Get request. Okay. To get all vendors, to create a one vendor, get vendor by ID and delete by vendor. Okay, and let me show you that one as well. Okay, h2 console. Okay, localhost colon 9578 slash h2 hyphen console. h2 hyphen console. Okay, I'm just giving for what Mahesh. Okay, done. So see, sir, Ashok IT vendors is the table is created. Ashok IT vendor table is created, sir. Right? Yes, you can write your commands from here. Okay, select star from Ashok IT underscore vendors. Okay, yeah, you do not have any more records, sir. You don't have any records in the table as of now. Okay, yeah, I'm going to create a one vendor. So post method, this is the body. This is the body of my request. This is the body of my it. Okay. So try it out. Just check it out. Vendor ID is for what? 125. And vendor name is Mahesh. And the vendor location is Hyderabad. Okay. And vendor contact number 123456. Okay. Yeah. Click on execute button. Click on execute button. See, sir, vendor has been created successfully. So vendor has been created successfully, sir. Okay, go back to the H2 console and just verify. Just verify. 125 vendor, it has been created. It has been created. Okay. If I want to create a 126, okay, something for what? Ashok, Hyderabad, something 111223. Execute. Execute. Another vendor has been created, sir. Another vendor has been created. Just go back to the H2 console, select the data. So two vendors has been created, sir. Two vendors has been created. Go to the Swagger document. Go to the Swagger document. Go to the Swagger document. In the get, click on the get, sir. Try it out. Try it out and execute. See, sir, you got like as on the two vendors information or not? You got the two vendors information or not? These are the two vendors information or not? Okay, two vendors information or not? Yes. Okay, yes, fine. So if you guys wanted to create one more vendor means, then you can try it. Okay, so that is called 127 and then Sarath. Okay, Hyderabad. Okay, that's all. Go to the H2 console and run it. So Mahesh, Ashok, Sarath, these are the three vendors has been created. Okay, yes. Okay, yeah, go back to the REST API documentation and just get method. Okay, get method and execute. Simple. Okay, yeah. So you are getting the three responses or not? Clear, everybody? This is the simple REST API which I have already developed, sir. This is the simple REST API which I have already developed. Understand? This is what the API documentation for that. This is nothing but the REST API documentation, sir. This is nothing but the REST API documentation. Okay, yeah. So now let us see the components which you have developed. Controller class, DAO class, entity class, exception class, service class. So see guys, first observe carefully repository, vendor repository. Observe carefully, vendor repository. It's an interface which is extending from where? It is an interface which is extending from where? JPA repository, vendor class. Okay. 1 minute. Let's stop, sir. Okay. Yeah. So observe carefully, sir, everybody. It is a vendor repository which is extending from what? JPA vendor, JPA repository, which you are passing for what? Entity object and serializable object. Simple. And you are getting for what? Get all vendor names. Okay. Yes, this is the repository class development. Okay. Yeah. When it comes for service, you can create a new vendor. You can get the vendor by based on vendor ID. You can get the vendor info by vendor name, get all vendors and delete vendor. So all these are nothing but on service classes case. Service class. This is the service class which is implementing for what? Vendor service, which requires for what? Repository, and repository object I was injected with the help of for what? Vendor service IMPL. Okay. Create vendor. So vendor has been, once the vendor record has been saved, sir, I'm just returning for what? Success. Okay. So I'm just returning for what? Vendor details. I'm just returning for what? For the same vendor name, you can have the multiple vendors. Okay. That vendors list I'm going to return from this method, from the DAO method. Okay, and get vendor by vendor ID. So if the vendor ID is present means, if the vendor ID is an empty means, then I'm going to throw the exception called vendor not found exception. Vendor not found exception, sir. If the supplied vendor ID is present in the database means, then it is going to return that vendor ID, vendor object back to the controller. If the supplied vendor ID is not present in the DB means, then it is throwing for what? Vendor not found exception, sir. Simple. Okay. And this is for what? All vendors. And this is for what? Delete vendor. Sir, this is the simple REST API methods, sir. Okay. These are the simple REST API methods, which you guys are already familiar. Okay. Anybody having any doubts? Vendor repository interface, vendor service interface, vendor service IMPL. Come on, guys. Anybody having any questions? In application.properties, you need to define with what? In-memory H2 details, in-memory database details, org.h2.driver, and JDBC colon H2 colon memory colon Ashok IT, and username Mahesh, and password is Mahesh, and SQLs should be shown on the console, and the table should be created automatically. Okay, and formatting the queries in the structured format, and H2 console should need to be an enable. Okay, and this is the port number. Understand? These are the entries will be the part of application.properties file. This is nothing but an data source configurations. These are the Hibernate configurations. These are nothing but an Hibernate configurations. And these are nothing but an H2 console configuration. And this is the changing the port number. Understand? That's all. Then go to the controller, sir. Then go to the controller. So see, sir, vendor controller. So that vendor controller, the base URL is for what? What is the base URI? What is the base URL, sir? Vendors. Vendors is for what? Format underscore SQL means. So see, sir, when you are see, this is what how you can get the structured format queries while inserting the data into the table. Okay, the queries will be get formatted on the console. Is that clear for you, Abdul? Mustafa. Mustafa, is that clear for you? So format underscore SQL means while at the time of inserting the data into the table, internally some Hibernate queries are executed. That Hibernate queries are get formatted on the console itself. Understood? Yes. Okay then. So let's come back to the controller part. So controller requires for what? Service. Controller requires for what? Service. Service is service calls we are triggering. This is the get mappings or get request of we need to supply for what? Vendor ID. This is called path variable. Yes. Yes, you can create a mock for object for interface as well, Venkat. Okay, you can create a mock interface for mock object for interface as well. No problem. In our case, user DAO. In our mock application, user DAO is a mock object only, Venkat. Okay. So see here. So you are just mocking the user object, right? So you do not have any implementation. Okay, sorry, this is an interface, not an interface. This is a class. You can create an interface for the mock as well. No problem, no doubt. Okay, yeah. So this is for get vendor, get mapping. So to get like as on the particular vendor information from the based on the path variable which you have given. Okay, yes. And then this get mapping is for what? To get all vendors information. To get all vendors information. This is for, and this is for what? To create a new vendor, to delete a new vendor. Okay, yes. As of now, I did not include it for updating the vendor information. You can add it, sir. You can add that one, no problem. Okay, simple as of now for the time being. So these endpoints which I have taken. Is that clear for you guys, everybody? Is that clear or not? Yes. Yes. Sir, in-memory database means the database which comes along with your Spring Boot application, that is called in-memory database. Okay. So that in-memory database is not a permanent database, guys. Once your Spring Boot application is shut down, automatically that database is also get destroyed. Understand? Whenever the Spring Boot application is up, at the time only that database is also in being what upstate, sir. Whenever your Spring Boot application is in down, then automatically the database also will becomes down. Understand? Yes. Hope you guys are comfortable. What are the different endpoints we have in our vendor REST API? Come on, guys. Yes. So I'm going to remove, first of all, I'm going to remove the DevTools dependency, sir, for the time being. Okay. Yeah. Because whenever it is recreating, whenever it is reloading, automatically table is wiped out. Okay. Yeah. So go to the Maven, update the projects. So force updates, guys, simple. Okay. Yeah. So let us create one more time, sir. REST API run as a Spring Boot application. Run as the Spring Boot application. So see, observe carefully. Again, the table is recreated freshly. Go to the H2 console. Go to the H2 console, guys. Go to the H2 console. Resend. See, connect. You need to provide the password. Whatever the password you have given in application.properties, that password you need to do. Okay. Yeah. So Ashok IT underscore vendors. Just select this command. No data is present in the table. No data is present in the table as of now. Okay. Yeah. Let's get into this part. Go to the API documentation, refresh. Refresh, guys. Index.html. Okay. So post request. So take the copy of this code. Okay. Take the copy of this payload. Try it out. 123. I'm just giving the Mahesh, Hyderabad, and the contact number 111223. Okay. Yeah. So click on execute, sir. Click on for what? Execute. Simple. Vendor has been created. Go back to the console. Refresh. So created. Okay. Yeah. So see, sir, internally some queries get executed or not. Insert query, update query, and update query get executed or not. Select query. Mustafa, is that clear? This is how the queries are get formatted with the help of that entry. Okay. Yeah. Fine. So this is how the REST API has been developed, sir. Now we need to write the test cases. Now we need to write the test cases for these API components. Okay, you need to write the test cases for controller component, service component, and the DAO component. Understand? Shall we start developing that one? Shall we start developing that part? Yes. Yes. Okay. Let's start writing. Let's start writing the test case for repository interface onwards. Okay. Yes. Go to the SRC test Java. Go to the SRC test Java, sir. Equivalent package structure, sir. Equivalent package structure I have created here as well. Okay. Equivalent package structure I have created. com.ashok IT controller DAO services. Okay. DAO services. Open the DAO, sir. And open the DAO here. So whatever the vendor repository we have, the same kind of vendor repository test class. Okay. Yeah. Observe carefully. Observe carefully, guys. Observe carefully. Yeah. So this is a test class. So this is the test class for which class? This is the test class for which class? Vendor repository class. This is the test class for which class? Vendor repository class, guys. Okay. So we used the annotation called @data JPA test. So this annotation is used to activate the JPA components. JPA components means JPA repository. Okay, JPA repository to activate the auto configuration classes related to for what JPA. Understand? @data JPA test basically used for testing the JPA components, guys. Simple. Okay, and auto configure test database. So the below annotation is used to enable the in-memory database. Okay, the below annotation is used to enable the in-memory database instead of application connected database, guys. Understand, sir? Below annotation is used to enable for what? In-memory database instead of application connected database, guys. Understand, guys? @auto configure test database replace with auto configure test database replace as null. So means this annotation which helps to connect with what? In-memory database of our application. Simple. So now tell me, sir, in-memory database is application connected database or default database comes with the Spring Boot application? Can you guys please confirm? In-memory database is application connected database or by default the Spring Boot application comes with the database? Come on, guys. In-memory, so H2 database is a application connected database or Spring Boot default database? Yes. Yes. It is not an application connected database, guys. It's an in-memory database comes along with your Spring Boot application. Okay. Yes. So I'm just auto wiring with what? Vendor repository. I'm just auto wiring with what? Vendor repository. Okay. Yes. I'm creating a vendor reference. So observe carefully, sir. Before each method, this logic is get executed for every test case or not? Come on, guys. No need, Mustafa. As I already mentioned you. So by default, every Spring Boot application comes with one starter called test starter. Okay, that test starter is automatically underlying the dependencies called JUnit 5 and the Mockito. Okay, so once you open this dependency, Mustafa. Okay, once you guys open this dependency, so observe carefully, everybody. Okay, observe carefully. See, JUnit Jupyter is there or not? JUnit Jupyter is there or not? Mockito core and Mockito JUnit Jupyter is there or not? Tell me, guys. Mustafa, is that clear? So whatever the starter comes along with your Spring Boot, that starter will take care of downloading the dependencies of JUnit and Mockito. Okay, you don't need to download the things separately. You no need to configure the dependencies separately, Mustafa. Okay, that starter will take care of downloading such dependencies automatically to your repository. Okay, yeah. Okay then. So come back to our discussion. Vendor repository. Can you guys help me? This logic is get executed for every test method before execution of test method or after execution of test method? Can anyone respond, guys? Can anyone answer this question? So this logic get executed. So this logic is get executed for before execution of every test case or after execution of every test case? Come on, guys. Speak out, everybody.
Before execution of every method, sir.
Yes, before execution of every method. Correct. So this is the before
Sir,
execution. Yes.
We need not add like H2 dependency, sir, in the form.xml file.
We need to add, sir, as I already shown you, right?
But by default, it comes, na, sir. Spring Boot.
No. See, Spring Boot having that feature. Okay. By default, it won't get that one along with your Spring Boot application. You need to add the dependency.
You need to add like a DB details also, sir, along with this one, right?
Yes, definitely. For any database, you need to configure the DB details. That is a primary thing.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
okay, sir. What is the use of spy method, sir? When to use like a spy method, sir? Exactly.
Yeah, that is what I told you. Whenever in some situations, sir, you don't want to stub the method of a DAO.
Okay,
Okay.
sir.
So in such situations, you wanted to call the original methods.
Original. That means it makes a call to the DB also, sir. If you put the
Yeah,
data.
definitely. Yeah, that is what I
Okay.
shown you the impression of inside the spy SOP statement.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
But rarely using, sir. Rarely
Yes,
using.
rarely using. Mostly rarely using, but your understanding and the interview purpose, they might ask you the question about the spy.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So in the Mockito, when you are stubbing the method itself, there is another option as well to call the real methods. Okay. Instead of that method, you can go for what? Spy.
Fine.
Okay.
And do nothing is also not needed, sir. When we call like a verify method, it gives
Yeah.
the result.
Yeah, that's it's up to you, sir. Whether you want to stub the when you want to stub the void method or when you want to go for what behavioral verification. That's it up to you. Which mechanism you want.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Okay then. Yes. So yeah, fine. H2 dependency is required to add, sir. Okay, this logic get executed for before execution of every test case. That's why this logic is annotated with the method called @ before each method. Simple. Okay. Yes. And see, sir, I have the another test. I have writing for what test case. Okay. I am writing like as on the one test case. Okay. Yes, sir. Inside this logic, can you guys observe carefully? Can you guys observe carefully? So I am creating one vendor object. That vendor object is nothing but an Amazon Hyderabad contact number. And this vendor object is saved. This vendor object is saved into the vendor repository and saving that vendor details. Agree? So means before execution of this test method, your database contains for what? One vendor information. Agree or not? Can you guys please confirm? Can you guys please confirm before execution of this test method? So one record is inserted into the DB or not? Yes, definitely. Okay. Yes. So I'm just verifying vendor repository dot find by vendor name is Amazon is present or not. As of now, you have inserted that Amazon and I'm just verifying that whether that Amazon is present or not. If it is present means then it is going to return for what list. Okay. From that the list, sir, get of 0 is not null or not. If it is get of 0 not null and vendor ID is equal to vendor ID dot this one. If the both are equal means then I can say so my test case got passed. Okay. So that is nothing but an find by vendor name with the supplied. Okay. So hope you guys are this is the positive scenario or not. See, I'm just checking that whether the asset not null for the 0th index of vendor list. Okay. After that, you are comparing the data. So 0th index vendor ID and vendor object dot vendor ID is equal to or not. If the both are unequal, then I can say vendor ID, vendor name, and the location same means my test case is passed. This is called positive case. Okay. So when it comes for the negative case, tell me before execution of this test method, again this logic get executed or not? Come on, guys. Before execution of this test method, again this logic is executed or not? What this logic will contains? What this logic will contains? You are creating a vendor object and saving that vendor into vendor DB, vendor repository. And now tell me, you are comparing. You are comparing for what, sir? Come on, guys. You are comparing for what? You are comparing for what? Come on, guys. You are comparing for what, guys? You are checking for what? GCP. Do you have the vendor? Do you have like as in the vendor with the GCP? Can you guys please confirm? So before execution of this test method, you have created one vendor information. That vendor is related to Amazon. So now you are just trying to find the vendor information which is often the GCP. GCP means nothing but on Google Cloud. Okay. So now tell me, do you have that vendor or not? No. No. So means that my vendor list is an empty, means that I can say the test case becomes a true, sir. Simple as that. Okay. Yes. And then after each method, I am making for what? Vendor as on the null, and I am deleting all the vendors. Sir, before execution of the test case, I'm just creating for what? Every vendor. After execution of the test case, I am making for what? Vendor as on the null, and I am deleting all the vendors from the vendor repository. Understood? Understood, guys? Understood or not? This is how you can write. So, sir, you can write some more test methods as well. Whatever the test method I have written in the vendor repository, okay, whatever the vendor repository I have written the method, sir, I have written that the test case for that. That is the positive scenario and the negative scenario. Yes. Srini, before all and after all will get execute only for one-time logic, Srini. Okay, that is related to static method behavior. Okay. Yes. Yeah, if you want to create before all and after all as well, you can do, no problem. But as of now, I just would like to define the logic for each test case level. Okay. Yeah. Hope you guys are comfortable about this test class. So this is the repository, vendor repository @data JPA test, which is used to activate the JPA components. Okay. And @auto configure test database. So instead of connecting to your application connected database, would like to connect with what? In memory database. Auto configure test database. Whatever the test database you have whatever the test database you have configured, just place so connect with that the database. Simple as that. Anybody having any questions? Anybody having any questions? If you give the signal for the next level discussion, I can go ahead. If you are good with this. If you're good with this, then I will go ahead with the next discussion of service component testing, service component testing. Yes. Assert that. Okay. Sir, assert that is nothing but it is coming from assertions API, sir. If you see here in the pom.xml file, as I shown you in the test starter. Okay, in the test starter, you have the dependencies, right? You have the dependencies. One is, see, sir, assertions is another API we have, guys. Assertion J core. Okay, and JUnit Jupyter, Mockito core, Mockito JUnit Jupyter. Okay, all these are nothing but an assertions API. Assert that is coming from not from JUnit 5, that is from assertions. Understand? Yes. So assert that method is nothing but an what, sir? See what it is doing. It's a returning for what? Assert object only. Okay, it's nothing but an assert that. So whatever the asset that we are getting the value here, whether that value is equal to this vendor ID or not. Simple. So what is the value of this statement? Simple. Understand? Yes. Let's get to try to test the service component. Let's try to test the service component, sir. Service. So go to the service class. Go to the service class. Service class, whatever the service class I have taken here, I have written the same test class for that. Okay. And this service, in order to write like as in in order to write the test cases for the service component, you need the mock object for service class or not? Come on, guys. You need the mock object for the service class or not? Sorry, you need the mock object of repository. Sorry, sir. Sorry. You need the mock object of for what? DAO. That is called vendor repository. Okay. And this is for what? Vendor service. Okay. And auto closable. So see, sir, and whatever the logic you have mentioned, sir, that logic is will be executed for each and every test case. For each and every test case. Observe carefully. Mockito dot open mocks annotation. So you know that one, the importance of this statement. Whenever you are utilizing some annotations related to Mockito, such as @mock, @inject mocks, @spy. Okay, such annotations, in order to invoke such one, make sure you need to have this and you need to have this statement before execution of every test method. Okay, and I am creating an object of, I'm just creating an object of for what? @vendor service IMPL class, and you are passing the mock object. You are passing the mock object, and you have like one vendor object as well. You have like one vendor object, right, guys? Right. So observe carefully. In the first vendor service method, what is the first positive case? Create vendor. Create vendor means nothing but a positive case. Okay, you need to create test case for creating the vendor record. Okay, you need to create a mock object for vendor class. You need to create a mock object for vendor class. Okay, and then you are setting the behavior, sir. Whenever the vendor repository dot save of any method, sir, whenever that whenever the vendor repository dot save method, whenever this save method is called, observe carefully. Whenever this statement is called, okay, what I am returning, sir? I am returning for what? Vendor object. Which vendor object? Vendor 1, Amazon US, and then followed with what? Contact number. Simple. This is nothing but an setting the behavior of DAO method call. Okay, assert that whenever the vendor create vendor is equal to success means my test case is passed. Hope you guys are clear about this part. Hope you guys are clear about this part. This is for creating the new vendor, sir. This is nothing but an creating a new vendor. Right. Okay, mock is the another way of creating a mock object for the certain classes. Understand? Verify method is not used. Why? Because so vendor repository is returning for what, sir? Vendor repository is returning for what? Vendor repository. Why you need to use the verify method here? So because this method is giving for what? Object. Whenever the statement is called, return to for what? An object case. Okay, whenever that statement is called, sir, then I am returning for what? Vendor object. Whether that vendor object is whether that the statement is giving equal to success means I can say for what? I can say my test case is passed. Simple. Okay, I have written the another test case. I have written for what? Another test case. Okay, this test case is for getting the vendor details by ID. Okay, test case is for what? Getting the vendor details by ID, sir. Vendor details by ID. Simple. This is the method, sir. Okay. For that method, observe carefully. Vendor repository dot find by ID, sir. Find by ID of 1, sir. So means you are going to return for what? Vendor object. So this is whenever this method is called, I'm going to return for what? Vendor object. If that vendor object is equal to vendor 1 information or not, then I can say it is true, sir. Okay. So in the negative case, if supplied vendor ID is not present, if the supplied vendor ID is not present means, then I'm going to throw the exception called vendor not found exception. Asset throws vendor not found exception means then you are making this call. Understand? Hope you guys are comfortable about these two test cases. Hope you guys understand about these two test cases. Sir, if you want to use JUnit 5 annotations as well, JUnit 5 assertions as well, you can use it. Void return type. Where is that void return type, Mustafa? I could not understand your point. What is the line number and what is which file you are talking about? When the vendor repository dot find by ID of 1 means, then it is going to return for what? Vendor object. If the vendor repository dot find by of 1, 2, 3 and 2, 3 means, then it is going to return for what? Vendor not found exception. Simple. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yes. So if this statement is a triggering for what? If this statement is a triggering for what? Vendor not found exception means, that's fine. My expected behavior only. Okay. And just make sure that requested vendor does not existed. Okay. Yeah. Okay then. So this is the another test case, sir. This is another test case with what? Exception. Okay. So what is another one, sir? What is another test case? Get vendor details by name, sir. Get vendor details by name. Get vendor details by name. Okay. Yeah. Observe carefully. So vendor repository dot find by name, find by vendor name of Amazon, sir. Amazon. If you are passing that one, so what I'm doing, sir? I'm just returning for what? Existing vendor object. Okay. If that vendor object asset that, if the service method is get called, sir, here. Okay. Service method is get called here. Then that vendor ID and then vendor related vendor ID both are equal means my test case is passed. Understand? So I am writing the test case for this method, sir. I am writing the test case for this method. Simple. I am writing the test case for this method, sir. Simple. Okay. Vendor repository dot find by vendor name of Amazon means, then I am going to return for what? Array list of vendor. Okay. Array list of vendor collections dot singleton of vendors are simple. Line number 78, why you used the singleton? Yeah, it's up to you, sir. Whether you want or not, you can ignore that one. No problem. Okay, singleton. New array list dot add. 1 minute. So see, instead of for every test case, it is going to create like new objects. Okay, that's why in order to avoid that one, I'm just clearly telling that singleton object is enough for that. Simple. Okay, only one vendor object is enough. Or else you can add the array list, sir. You can add like as in the vendor object to the array list, and you can pass that list as a here. Okay. Yes. This is the another test method, sir. This is another test method for what? Vendor details by find by vendor name. Okay. Now you need to write with what? Another test case for get all vendors. Okay. Whenever the vendor repository dot find all method is called, then I'm going to return for what? I'm going to return for what? Vendor only, existing vendor only, existing vendor only. If that existing vendor is equal to vendor name and the vendor size equal means, then my test case is pass. Understand? Understand, guys, everybody? Yeah. This is the service method, sir. This is the service method. This is the test class for test case service method for get all vendors. And now delete, sir. Delete. So observe carefully, sir. So see, sir, somewhat the different for testing the void return types. Okay. See here. Vendor repository. You are creating an object of DAO class and Mockito dot calls real methods. Calls real method means it's a kind of spy. It's a kind of spy. As I told you, sir, in order to call the real methods, you have the two ways. In the Mockito, there is the method called call real methods call, and also, and in the spy itself, you can call the real methods as well. Understand? Understand, guys? This is how you can do, sir, basically. Okay. Vendor repository dot class, and you can call the real methods. You are telling that Mockito, please call the real methods of vendor repository. Vendor repository. And I am setting the behavior to for what? DAO method. Okay. And I'm just setting for what? Behavior for what? DAO methods. Do answer methods. Do answer. Answers dot call real methods when the vendor repository is deleted by sir. Whenever you guys are calling for what any kind of the delete, it will call for what? Original methods. Okay. Yeah. Sir, this is nothing but an setting the behavior of a Mockito to call the real methods. To call the real methods. Okay. So vendor repository dot delete by ID. It is a void method or not? It is a void method or not, guys? It's a kind of void method, right? It's a kind of void method, sir. So to test that the void method, so I would like to call the real method, sir. Simple. Do answers method. Okay. Do answers method or do nothing method. You can take it up. Okay. You can take it up with what? Do nothing. Okay. Do nothing. You can take it up with what? Do nothing method. When repository dot get delete of any parameter, you can go with that. This is nothing but an setting the real call methods behavior, sir, to the Mockito. Understand? Understand my point, everybody? And whenever the delete vendor is equal to success means I can say it is deleted. And this is for what? After each method. You are closing for what? All mocks. Okay. Yeah. So if anybody having any questions, please go ahead and ask your questions about the service class. One by one.
Sir, why you are using like a mock of vendor dot class, sir, in the second test case, the first test case?
In the first
It's not
test
need
case.
mock of vendor dot class.
This
It's
one
not
is
need.
not required. Not required.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. And we can use like a spy also, sir. In the last method, we can use.
Yeah. You can go with what? You can create a spy for vendor repository.
Spy.
Instead of
How to create just like vendor repository of
Mockito.spy off.
vendor.
Mockito.spy off for what? Vendor repository. In place of mock here, you can go with what? Spy. Okay. Simple spy. You can
Simple
remove
spy,
that
sir.
part.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Spy.
as I mentioned you, sir. Okay. You can do with you can make the real method calls with the help of Mockito as well as a spy. In the
Spy also.
Mockito way, in the Mockito framework, you have this is the method. Okay. Yes.
Otherwise, you can directly use like a spy only vendor repository
Yeah.
dot class.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
What is the difference between do answer and do nothing, sir? Both are same or both are do answer is.
Yes, sir. Basically, somewhat the slight differences are there, but as of now, I was highlighted with do nothing, right? For void test methods. So go with what? Do nothing, sir. As of now. Okay. Somewhat the differences are there, sir. Answers methods as well. Okay. Earlier, what we have here, 1 minute. So means do answers means nothing but on what it. So do answers means whatever. See, it's nothing but on calls the real method, sir. Basically, you are going to do nothing also is nothing but on what? It's nothing to return from the delete by ID method.
Delete
Okay.
by
ID method. So it's nothing but an equivalent to for what? Do nothing. Okay. Yeah. Let's try. No problem. Do nothing as well. Okay. Yeah. Fine. This is the service component, sir. This is the service component. Sir, whatever the logic you have mentioned here, this logic will get executed for every test case. For every test case. Keep that point in your mind. After each method is also you are closing all your closable dot. You are just closing for what? Mocks.
Mocks.
Okay. So Mockito annotations dot open mocks of assigning to for what? Auto closable. So see, sir, open mocks method is returning for what? Auto closable. Auto closable means having automatically closing the mocks. Okay. If you want to do that one as well, you can do. Anybody having any questions about the service component testing?
Sir, we have to close manually or automatically close, sir? That
Automatically it
mock.
will have the capability, sir. Auto closable means you no need to close explicitly as well. Okay. Yeah. Auto closable feature means automatically closing. Okay.
Okay, sir. Suppose in the application, if you give like some MySQL properties, but this test case is connected into the embedded database only,
Correct.
H2 only, right, sir?
Yes.
In the test while doing the testing.
Yes.
Can you see that database, sir? Can you see that database? Can you open that H2 database?
This one, sir.
Through test case, sir. Through test case.
Yeah. I'm going to do that. Through test case, what you are expecting?
If it is inserted or not, if you record, sir,
Yeah.
that.
I'm going to run the test cases, sir. Yeah, I'm going to show you with the test cases execution. Yeah, definitely. So after this, the service class, if you are good with this, then I can show you with what? Controller component testing. Come on, guys, tell me. So all these things are similar to Mockito or not? All these things are similar to Mockito or not? If I come to this point and discuss about this, all these things means, will you get understand? Will you get understand the concepts? Come on, guys. Without knowing the basics, can we write the unit testing part in the REST API? Is that possible or not? No, without knowing the basics, you cannot do anything, sir. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Let's get into
Sir,
the
what is
control.
that
Yeah.
mock of vendor data class, sir? What is the use of mock of vendor data class generally?
Mock
That's
of.
called vendor data class, sir. Vendor data class.
This is nothing but an mock of vendor data class. It's creating a mock object for vendor class. Simple. It is not required, sir, as of now, because you are creating the one vendor object, right? Anyway.
Directly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's go to the controller part. Open the controller class. Open the controller class. You have written for what? Get mapping of vendor ID, get and post and delete. Okay. Go to the vendor controller test. So observe carefully, sir. Everybody, please focus. @WebMVC test. So you are writing like as in the test class for which controller? You are writing the test class for which controller? Vendor controller. You are writing like as in the MVC test class for what? Vendor controller, sir. Inside this vendor controller, observe carefully. I'm just auto-wired with one mock object called MockMvc. This is one of the predefined object from Mockito library, sir. Understand? Understand, sir?
Sir, when we will use a WebMVC test annotation, sir?
Yeah, whenever you want to test like as an whenever you want to test the controller component, you need to use this annotation. Okay.
Only controller component or sir any service or?
No, only for controller. This is.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Fine, sir. Okay, then followed with what? @AutoWare of for what? MockMvc. So MockMvc is the one of the predefined object from Spring Test library, sir. So using this class, sir, you can call with what? Lot of methods. Perform method is there. Okay, like that you are going to test for what? All the endpoints. Okay. Yeah. So observe carefully. MockMvc. And so basically controller class requires what object? Controller class requires for what object, guys? Controller class requires for what object? Controller class requires for what? Service object. So that object I was injecting here @mockbean. Okay. This is the vendor 1 and this is the vendor 2. Okay. Yeah. Observe carefully. Before execution of every test case, I'm just created the two vendors and added that two vendors to for what? List. Okay. Tear down. Tear down means after execution of every test case, Vendor list should be clear, and vendor 1 and vendor 2 should be what? Null. Simple. Okay. Yes. I am writing a test case method for get a particular vendor, sir. Get a particular vendor. Observe carefully. When you will use the mock bean, yeah, that's what I told you, sir. So basically, you wanted the class which is under the test. Okay. So basically, sorry, that is inject mock. That is inject mock. Mock bean means it's nothing but one of the spring bean. Okay. If you guys wanted to inject like as in the spring bean into a test class, you can use for what? At the rate mock bean, sir. At the rate mock bean is used to inject the spring beans in your test class. Clear? At the rate inject mock is nothing but the class which is under the test. You can inject that class into for what? Test class. That is called at the rate inject mock. Okay. At the rate mock bean is nothing but whenever you want to inject the spring bean into a test class, then I can go for what? At the rate mock bean. Okay. Yes. I'm just getting for what? A particular vendor information. So particular vendor information from the service. Okay. Observe carefully, sir. Go to the vendor controller. I'm just getting for what? Vendor, right? I'm particular pass based on the vendor ID which you are passing, you will get the vendor information, right, guys? So see, I'm just setting the behavior. Vendor service dot get vendor of 1 means I'm going to return for what? Vendor 1. Okay. This dot MockMvc dot perform method, sir. Perform method. Perform method is used to pass the API endpoint. API endpoint. Get is nothing but an get API, sir. Get API. So which is used for what? Get request. For that, the get request, you need to provide with what? API URL. API URL vendor/1, sir. Okay. So vendor/1 and then do, sir. And do means nothing but on what? It's a kind of printing on the console. Okay. If you want to print the result of this an endpoint, then you can go with what? Undo method and you can call the print method. And finally, what your expectation? Status should be what? Is okay. If the status is getting okay, sir, my test case is passed. My test case is passed. Understand? Understood, everybody? Understood or not? So MockMvc contains for what? Perform method. In the perform method, according to your REST API method, you can call the method, sir. Either post or get or delete or put or anything, patch. Okay. As of now, we are trying to write the test case for what? Get API. So get vendor/1, sir. Okay. So that vendor details is going to give you, sir. And do print method and expect status is okay. So if this is a success means my test case is passed. Okay. So in order to test all vendors, okay, so this test case is for what? This test case is for what, guys? Getting all the vendors, sir. So in order to write the test case for this method, so first I need to set the behavior, sir. First I need to set the behavior. Yes. Yes. Okay. Yes. This is a vendor list dot get all vendors. I'm going to return for what? Vendor list. What is a vendor list you have set, sir? Vendor 1 and vendor 2. Okay. If I'm going to this dot MockMvc dot perform method get/vendor, sir, and then if that vendor is printed, all the vendors related information is printed, and then it is getting for what? Is okay method. Simple. Understand, guys? Understand or not, everybody? Hope you guys are clear about these two test methods for controller class. I have written the test cases for two endpoints, right, guys? One is for what? Get vendor by ID and get all vendors. Clear or not? Anybody having any questions up to this? Anybody having any questions up to this part?
Sir, we can use like @ mock, sir, instead of @ mock bean.
Where, sir?
in the
No,
this
this
one.
is a Spring Bean class. Okay, this
But
is
in,
a Spring Bean class. So you cannot
okay.
use @mock, sir, because @mock is for what? So this is
For
the Spring Bean class, sir. So this is not a mocking class.
Hmm.
Okay.
But in the service we use it like @mock, na, sir, in the service test class.
In the service class, 1 minute. What is that one in the service test? @mock. Okay, service which is required for what? DAO. So in this case, like you are just mocking for what? DAO object. Okay. So in the controller class, the controller test class, I think so we can do, sir.
Yes, sir, right.
Yes, we can do. 1 minute, 1 minute. You can do for what? @mock as well. No
Mock
problem.
also. Yes.
We'll test it all these scenarios. Okay, no problem.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, then. So see,
What
sir,
is the
that's
print method, sir? Print method, it is printing the data. What it does,
it
sir?
is going to print the data on the console. Whenever
Okay.
it is a triggered this endpoint, this endpoint will give you some response, right? That response
Yes,
will be
sir.
printed on the console.
Okay, sir.
So that you got the clarity whether that endpoint is a triggered and what data it is written. Okay. Yeah. Similar way, I have written for what? Delete method as well. So whenever whenever before execution of the delete endpoint, I set the behavior vendor service dot delete vendor, then I am going to return for what? Success. So if the vendor is deleted, then I can return for what? The response of that an APA, and whether it is a success or not, I'm just ensuring that. Simple. This is
Sir,
for
in
what?
this,
Yes, please.
sir, this is working as like what, sir? This dot MockMvc.
This dot MockMvc means?
This is working as like why, sir? This is this keyword why?
Yeah, current
Can
class
we
object,
use?
sir. You can use for what? MockMvc as well. So basically, whenever you are referring that particular object in the class, either you can refer with what? This dot Mockito, this dot MockMvc or MockMvc you can do. No problem. Okay. This represents for what, sir? Current class object only, right? In the current
Yes,
class
sir.
inside the MockMvc object. That's all. It's up to you, sir, whether you want to use or not.
Okay, okay, sir.
Okay. Yeah. If you want to avoid that one, you can avoid it, sir. No problem. This represents current class object. So to create a vendor, sir, to create a vendor, what you need to do, sir, basically, you need the vendor object, right or not? Object mapper is from where? Jackson library. Jackson library. Object mapper, and you are preparing that an object into for what? JSON string, right or not? You have prepared one Java object, sir. That Java object, okay, that Java object I'm converting into JSON or not? Sir, this is nothing but an converting the Java object into JSON to create the vendor, new vendor through the, to create like as in the new vendor, sir. Understand? Understand or not?
No,
I
sir.
cannot see. The point here is to create a new vendor. To create a new vendor, you need to pass the JSON body or not?
Sir.
Yes. Okay. You need to pass the JSON body. How you can, so as a Java programmer, you have the data in the Java objects. You have the data in the Java objects. How you can convert the Java object into JSON object? By using for what? A Jackson library. Jackson library. So one of the Jackson library class called object mapper. Using this class, you can write the Java object into for what? JSON string. Understand? Understand my point or not? Okay. So object mapper is one of the class from Jackson library to convert from where? To convert from where Java object into JSON. So this is the wrapping of root value, sir. And this is for what? Object writer. Object writer means you wanted to write a formatted way or a unformatted way. I want like as in the formatted way only. Pretty printer means it's a formatted way of writing the JSON. Okay. So this is nothing but an converting the Java object into string, sir. Okay.
Sir,
That is what
sir,
I'm printing.
Sir, why we using wrap root value, sir?
Yeah, that is what the root element should be wrap, sir. Okay. So if you have, so for example, if you have the vendor like this, so let us say, for example, if you have like as in the vendor, okay. If you have like this means, then you need to do, okay, inside the vendor information like this. Understand? You need to wrap it, sir. Okay. Some of them are, so as of now, you no need to worry about this wrapping of root value as well, sir. So because wrapping of root value means this will also part of serialization. Okay. This portion is also called go to the serialization, sir. Understand?
Okay, sir.
Root value also will be the part of the serialization. Simple. Okay.
It is working as interface or like what, sir? Or method?
Which one?
Wrap root value. It is method or?
It is not a method, sir. It is a constant. It is a constant, sir, because it is what the capital letters, right?
Yes,
It's
sir.
one kind of an enum. It's a constant.
Okay.
Okay. So that is a part of serialization of feature that is a enum enumeration which contains for what enum value. Okay. Yeah. So see, I'm setting the behavior, sir. Vendor service dot create vendor of vendor one. If it is created, if this method call is triggered means, then I return for what success. Okay. MockMvc dot perform method post of vendor content type you set like as in the JSON you wanted to send, and the content is also the JSON, and you do print with what the response, and expect behavior is for what is created. So this is the way of writing the unit test case for what controller part. MockMvc dot perform method post method, sir. Okay. MockMvc dot perform method, inside the perform method I'm calling with what post method. So for the post method I'm setting the content type as and for what JSON. You need to send JSON, and the JSON, sir, and the content, the JSON, the content type you set like as in the JSON, and whatever the JSON you have converted from Java object. So the Java object, that JSON which we are sending as in the content of the body, and then printing that method and expecting the result as in for what 201. If it is created means, then my test case is passed. Understood? Understood, guys? Understood, guys?
Sir, one more times.
Which one, sir?
Last ones.
Yes, sir. Simple, sir. First, you need to understand the here. Whenever you want to create a new vendor, you need to send the JSON. Okay. So you need the JSON. Okay. If you want the JSON means, right now as a Java programmer, you have the object you have the data in the object of vendor one. Vendor one contains for what? Vendor ID, vendor name, vendor location, vendor contact number. So this object of information I'm converting into for what JSON. I'm converting into for what JSON through programmatically. That is called object mapper. Object mapper is one of the predefined class from Jackson library, which helps us to convert from what Java object into JSON. That is called serialization. Object mapper is one of the predefined class from Jackson library, which helps us to convert the Java object into JSON. That is called serialization. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes. That is what, sir. Okay. So you are writing the value as a string, sir. Whatever the data is there in the vendor one, that vendor one, the content will be writing as an for what JSON string. That JSON string I'm writing, I'm just printing on the console. I am printing on the console. Okay. You need to understand. You will be seeing this part in the console, sir. How we have converted the Java object into JSON. How we have converted the Java object into JSON, guys. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Sir, one doubt, sir. Actually, suppose it is connecting to the embedded database, right, sir? Actually, suppose if you give like some MySQL properties, actually our application is connecting to the MySQL. Then how we can configure both the details in the YAML files, sir? In that case.
No. So the point here is I'm just giving you the impression how you can write like as in the test case for the database. Okay. If you don't want to connect with the embedded database as well means you need to stub it and you need to write the test cases.
Okay. Stub it only, sir. Okay.
You need to stub it. Okay. You need to create a mock objects and you need to stub the behaviors and you need to compare the results with assertions according to your DB results. So because our always JUnit, our unit test cases always be in what isolated. Isolated means it doesn't depends on external components.
Okay, that means it's not connecting to the actual database. Sir.
Database as well. Yes. Okay. Unit testing
sir.
is always whatever the piece of code you are writing, that piece of code should be tested isolated manner.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay. That's why you need to create a mock. You need to create, you need to do for what stubs. You need to create for what behavioral verifications.
Behavioral
Verifications. And if you want to spy as well, if you want to call the real methods, you can call that real methods with the help of spy. So these are the few basics which comes around during the development of unit test cases.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Okay then. So I'm going to right now the application is in let's create freshly, sir. Let's stop the server. Stop the server. Observe carefully. I'm going to run as maven clean. Maven clean means target folder of your maven project get deleted. Okay. Yes. Okay then. So I'm going to run as maven install. You can go with what maven test as well, sir. Okay. Maven install will do with what compiling of your source codes. Compiling the source codes, guys. Compiling the source codes. Okay. Compiling the source codes and packaging the jars. See, and executing the test cases as well. Okay. Right now is the testing is running. Tests are running. Table is created again. Table has been created again. Right. See. How many test cases are run here totally? 13 test cases. Build got succeeded. Observe carefully, slowly. So see, if you come from the starting itself, so our test case execution started from here. Okay. Yes. So table has been created. So one test case is run, sir. One test case is running for what? Vendor controller test. Okay. Vendor controller test class. Okay. Observe carefully. Requested JSON means converted the Java object into JSON content or not? Converted the Java object into JSON content or not, guys? If you remember correctly, I have added one SOP statement, sir. I have added one SOP statement here, requested JSON. Okay. So that JSON is printed or not? That JSON is printed. Converted the Java object into JSON. If you see here, I have testing for what? Post method, request URI, you do not have any parameters, and content type you set as an for what? JSON, and whatever the body you have convert, whatever the body you have sent, that is the request body. Okay. And then this is what handler class, and this is for what? Handler method. And see, you got the response as an for what, guys? You got the response from where? 201 or not? 201 or not, guys? So what is the body of that? Vendor created successfully. Clear or not, guys? Post method is created or not? Any doubts? This is all these things printed by print method, sir. Okay, all these things will get printed by whom? All these details are printed by whom, sir? Print method. Print method. My test case is passed or not? Yes, my test case is passed. So another request. Another request. So what is another request? Can anyone explain me? So get request. It's getting for what? All vendors. Okay, all
Yes, sir.
vendors. And what is the response? What is the C, sir? Status is a success. And what is the body, sir? You are getting for what? All vendors or not? You are getting for what? All vendors or not? Okay. Yeah. So then.
Sir, in the post method, actually data should be secure, sir. Like body should not be appeared in the post method.
No. See, whatever the body I was showing right now, that is a request. That is the body which I have created successfully. So this is for your debug. So just for our understanding purpose, I have written for yeah. Okay. Yeah. And we have another method, sir. We have written for what? Another method. Get vendor, get a request vendor by ID, and you do not have any body. You do not have the body for this REST API. And if you get a little bit scroll down, 200 success, and this is the response which you got from that API. Vendor one details, right, guys? And then delete vendor one / delete. Okay, it is deleted. Simple. It has been deleted successfully, and vendor body is for what? Deleted successfully, sir. Simple. So total how many test cases are run, sir? Four test cases. Agree? And now it is running to test for what? Vendor repository test. Vendor repository test. So see, sir, it is selecting the data. It is selecting the data and all these things. It was done or not? See, total 2 test cases which we have written in the repository. In vendor service IMPL class, 6 test cases. Total how many test cases? 13 test cases which we have written.
Sir, it is connecting to the H2 database, sir. Can you see
that? Yes, it is connected to H2 database. So see here, go to the H2 console. Right now you are already added and deleted, right? Okay, so you cannot have the data. So if you want one more thing, means you need to add some more data. Minute. H2 console, right? Is it stopped? Okay. I think it is stopped, sir. 1 minute. Build success completed, right? Okay. Open that one again and try to run as Spring Boot application. Because you are triggering the endpoints, right? That's why it is deleting the data. Okay. Yeah. So let's do one thing. Go to the vendor controller test. So right now disable the test case. Okay. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes. @ disabled. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Right click, run on the Maven test. It is created. It should be created and it should not be deleted.
Yes, sir.
It should not be deleted. What is this one?
Vendor service is not class default. Sir, we are declaring like @ mock, so it gives.
Oh, no. That is not the issue. At the rate disabled. At the rate disabled. 1 minute. Right. Okay, Maven, update the project. 1 minute. Let me show you the data so that you can feel that so the data is presented. Okay. So run as Maven test. Run as Maven test. Yeah, now it's fine. So go back to the H2 console. Okay, connect. So run the data. Why? Okay. Got it. Each test case, it is deleted at repository side as well, right, sir? You are calling here as well. Okay. You are deleting the each and every test case, right? Data.
Yes, sir.
Go to Maven, update the project. Let's do here run as Maven test. Let's see, sir, final. The data should be present, sir. Okay, the data should
Yes,
be
sir. Yes,
present.
sir.
Okay, that is what our expectation. Build success. H2 console. Where it is deleting. We are not at all triggering any delete method, right?
Yes, sir.
We are not at all deleting any trigger method. Controller @delete. Okay, it should be create. It should be create and it should be get. Okay, it should be create and it should be get. So observe carefully the consoles anywhere it is executing the delete. This is insert. This is insert. Okay. Vendor details. Inserting. Just check it out anywhere it is executing for the delete. No, I believe. Why it is 1 minute, sir? Create vendor, test delete vendor is disabled. For time being, let us remove. We'll do one thing, sir. 1 minute. Okay. Last try. Clean the project. Okay. and then run as Maven test. Run as for what? Maven test. Just final try, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The data should be present, sir. Might be it's why data is getting inserted.
Maybe internally using any embedded.
Yeah, let's see. Table created. Okay, table created, and then controller test. Record is inserted. Record is inserting. Okay, that's fine. H2. Okay, H2 console. Okay, Mahesh, and then no rows are there. Why? Is it inserting or not? Okay.
ఫోన్ వస్తుంది అనుకున్నా క్లాస్ వింటానా ఏమో మరి ఎందుకు ఎత్తాడు ఇంత పొద్దున అని ఎత్తిన నార్మల్గా ఎత్తుతా కానీ
Okay. 1 minute. Configure. For each test case, for each test case means okay. Might be somewhat we are missing something. Okay, so definitely the data will be present, sir. No problem. Data should be present in memory. Okay. Yeah. So anybody having any questions? Anybody having any questions? Anybody having any questions up to this? So this is all about with what the REST API unit testing part. So the data should be present, sir, basically. Okay. So something is
Okay,
doing
sir. Okay,
there
no
wrong.
problem.
Okay. Yeah. So we need to debug. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Anybody having any questions?
Yeah, how to handle exceptions, sir, in a REST controller also? Like
In the REST
suppose
API,
in
you yes, sir.
REST API. Yes, yes. Controller test case, sir.
Yes, sir. We can write for one more test case for that. Okay. Yeah, I will add that part, sir. Okay. In the code.
Okay.
You can walk through that.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Hope you guys understood somewhat the related to for what REST API unit testing.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. So if you have any questions, please go ahead with your questions, sir. Okay, this is all about of our the JUnit related REST API unit testing workshop.
We'll get this code in that GitHub, no, sir?
Yes, yes.
Sir, can you share that URL, sir? GitHub URL.
Yes, 1 minute.
Sir, whatever content you have told, sir, that is enough for any project to, if anyone tell to do the unit testing or Mockito.
Yeah, these are the very basic fundamentals we need to learn whenever you want to do any kind of unit testing in an application. So you require some more concepts as well. Okay, some more concepts on top of this, sir. Okay, so to write like as in the unit test cases full-fledgedly for our applications. Okay, this is the prerequisite. Prerequisite means that this is the minimum knowledge which you should need to know whenever you want to do the unit testing. Okay.
Sir, one thing, sir, enums when to use, sir, generally we are taking from the constants, na, yeah. Some app constants like that. When to go for enum actually?
Enums are nothing but on basically constants are nothing but on the fixed values, sir. But enums are nothing but on enums are also just for as on the fixed values only. Okay, basically enums are singleton objects by default. thread safe objects.
Okay, sir. Okay. But both are same only, sir. Constants and enums both are same
Yes.
only, na?
Yes.
Mm.
Okay. See, basically, inside the enums, sir, we can define some methods. We can define the constructors. If we want to compare the value of an enum, that all these things which you can do, sir. But app constants class contains for what? Fixed constants.
Fixed constants.
Yes. The things which are not changeable in your application.
Yes, sir. That is enums we can compare, sir. We can compare the values like that.
Yes, sir. Yes. Enums you can do, sir. Okay. Yeah. Anybody having any other questions, guys? Yeah. I will upload this JUnit related workshop applications into that GitHub workspace, sir. Okay. Yeah. So if you have any questions, please go ahead with your questions. This is all about for what? The REST API unit testing part, sir. Hope you got something or not about the JUnit related testing part. Hope you got some knowledge or not, guys. Yes. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay, then. That's all for the today, guys. That's all for this workshop. Again, that's all for this workshop, guys. Okay. Thanks for your joining. Okay. If anybody having any questions, just reach out to me. Okay.